Namaste and welcome to today's episode of Interview. Guest for today's evening is an amazing personality who works in the field of wildlife photography, one who has explored a lot in and around Bangalore. So let's welcome Abhijit Mishra. Welcome you sir to this session of interview. Thank you so much for taking out some time for this valuable session.
Thank you. Thank you, Pallavi. Thank you for this
My
opportunity.
pleasure.
I would love to share whatever I do or whatever I do for in photography and
Yes.
everything to with you and your followers and your audience.
Moving on to the first question, we would like to know about your hometown, your childhood, and your profession at present.
Yeah. So basically, I as you said in the beginning that I do bird photography in Bangalore, but I do because I stay in Bangalore, right? So I work for an IT company. So I work as a developer. Basically, I'm a lead of a team. So I am working from last 9 or 10 years. So that's about my profession. But actually, I belong from Odisha, if you know. So Sonpur district is there. So I belong to there, and right now I'm in my hometown only. So I recently came to hometown like before 15 days. So I do birding now here only. And about my childhood means I have been I was there in my hometown for I think till my engineering started. So it will be basically 17 or 18 years. Then I went to Bhubaneswar for engineering, and then I'm there in Bangalore. Yeah, that's it from my profession and my childhood.
So we would like to know what drove you to birds photography. As you are from an engineering background, so what attracted you to this field?
Yeah, so if you see, right, I was not the I have been into photography always, from my childhood days, when we used to have this mobile and everything, right, when it started. So I liked photography, so I used to do photography. And once I started my job and everything, so I had a small DSLR, so I used to do photography, but never I have never done bird photography. But in from last 1 year, I think since 1 year I have started it. So what happened is I used to go to a lake basically in Bangalore near to my place, where I used to go daily for morning walks and jogs. So what happened is I have seen people coming there, and they used to be taking having this lens and everything, and they will be taking bird photos. So then I discussed with them what they do and what is how is the process and everything. It's not about always taking photographs of birds or good photographs and everything, but it's always it's also about knowing their behavior, knowing about them, learning about them basically, because we know that they are there, but we never know we don't know basically. So I have started, so I know few things, but there are so many things to learn. But there are so many people who know that there are so many birds surrounding us, but we are not aware of anything about them, right? So that is where I thought, okay, I should also start, and I should also get more knowledge about these beautiful creatures. So that is where I started bird photography. So which basically is taking good photos, but also knowing about the birds.
Um, how do you manage this schedule? As you are quite busy in your profession, then again you also pursue this bird photography. So how do you manage all?
Yeah, yeah, that this, yeah, exactly, that problem happens, but there is a catch in it. So what is happening is, earlier we used to in our generation, right, everyone is OTT, right? So everyone is basically are more involved in OTT platform. Everyone is watching this series, movies and everything, right? And that is what we used to do in our in our free time. So I, I don't watch those these days. So basically I don't get time to watch these days. So that is the time I can do bird photography, right? Maybe in the night I can work. So basically I can work little late, around 12 to 9 or something for my profession, but so that I get good amount of time in the morning for birding sessions and everything. So that's what we do. And anyway we have the weekends. So it's basically we have to keep some time that you have to plan it out, that okay, we have okay, you on Saturday this many hour for bird photography. So that should be fine. I think I have seen many people in IT world, they are doing bird photography along with their work. So weekend helps basically.
According to Abhijit Mishra, how important is to study the animal's behavior before the wildlife photography?
See, like, yeah, it's as I said, like, in the last question also, you have to know the behavior, okay? Otherwise no use of like taking a good photograph is fine, but then like if you don't know about anything about the bird and then all those things, right? Behavior, how it behaves and everything. I know that people say that like learning the behavior will give you a great photograph. That is true, that you know that okay, that the bird or the animal, so what it is going to do next, and you will be ready for that photograph. That is fine. So that is a good part and we will get a good photo, but it should not be till that part. Or like, okay, if you get a good photo, then you are done, so you no need to know about that bird or anything. So it's like getting to know a new bird, so learning about it, how it behaves, how it breeds, or like how they do their family and everything, right? It's fascinating that this thing happens, but we never knew about it unless we go into this photography. Yeah, we tell, like, we say this bird photography and everything, but it's also about getting to know these birds and animals more, because they are there, right? They are living creature, and you should be knowing about them. So that is what happens. So it's basically, I would say it is very important to know about their behavior. And also by doing that, what also we can do is we will be like, we can make them comfortable. So like, even if we do bird photography, they should not get disturbed, right? So because if you know also, that is what happens in most of the time, because we know that there are certain rules and things to be considered while you are doing bird photography, like nesting and all those things we should not do, right, at that time. So all those things, knowing the behavior, we also get to know that what we should follow while doing bird photography, or where is the limit. So that idea you will only get if you learn about their behaviors and if you know about them.
What are the challenges, or do you have any funny moments or these challenging moments from your journey, so that you can share with our audience?
Yeah, like challenge means, in this, right, in bird photography, or whenever you're inside a forest or something, there will be the adventurous thing and all those things will happen. So I will tell one part which is funny and also adventurous for me. So this year Jan, in my hometown, so I was in my hometown that time on Jan, I think 10th or 12th, I forgot. So that time what happened is, in Odisha there is this Sonpur, which my hometown is Suvarnapur. So there we do like the common Marganjas. You must have heard of common Marganjas, which I think they come from Europe, they migrate. So there are two places where I think in eastern Odisha, I know there are two places where they migrate to. One is Gozoldova, which is very famous. I think it is in West Bengal. So another is in our hometown where they do migrate to. So we went there to take some photographs of common Marganjas. So they were there around, I think around 8 to 10. So we were taking those photographs, and suddenly I heard like loud thud, something jumping into water. Okay, so basically it was inside the river. So it's not like there were waters and everything, but it was like sand and stones were there. So we were like we were taking photographs of Marganjar, and that time to my right, I think around 20 to 25 feet, I saw something like two or three like heads. I can see only head from the water level. Okay, so I thought it must be something like tortoise or something. That's what I thought. But while I was thinking, then I saw that like there was this Indian river otter. You have seen it, right? River otters, like we do see in India. So river otters. So that like it came to a big stone. So it's like it stands there. So I thought, what was that? So I never knew that there is river otter. So this was my first experience, or first time I was watching a river otter. So I thought, what is this? So it was like it was big in size, it was large in size. So I thought, I don't know, and I was alone, right, inside the river. So one of my bird photography colleague was there, but he was away from me. So I thought, what is this? I never saw this. Like, is it going to attack me or something? Because it was around 20 feet only. So and then I saw two or three again. Okay, besides that there were two or three. So I thought, what is this? And like, I was I was like scared, but I was clicking photos, like around 20 to 30 photos. I was clicking, and meanwhile I was like scared also that what is going to happen. Is it going to come behind me or something? Like I have to run or something. So that is what was happening. So that was very adventurous for me. That okay, like then after I went home and then I searched about it, and then I got to know that this is the river otter, and they don't attack basically. So it's like it is then I knew that okay, these are there in our river also, which is Mahanadi. So yeah, that was adventurous experience and also funny, because I never knew that they exist in like in our river in my hometown. So that was a very good experience.
Indeed, a great experience. As we are talking about your hometown, we would like to know which areas you like to explore.
For birding you are
Yeah,
saying,
yeah.
or for any wildlife or
for
birding
wildlife.
photography you are saying? Yeah. So basically, like, see, if you ask any bird photographer, they will say forest and everything. But I believe every place is a like I like every place. Okay, so basically it becomes seasonal. So right now, if you see, it's rainy season, right, monsoon. So if you go to forest, like you will not see that much of birds if it's not a dense forest and anything. But then, like, if you go to this like agriculture places and everything, right, or wetlands, or like small wetlands, and then you see bitterns and these munias and everything, right. So it's seasonal. So right now, it for me it is like agricultural lands and small wetlands and this big grass places. So right now it is my favorite. So it changes. So in my hometown, if you say in winter, then I go to this Mahanadi river, which is there in my, like, near to my hometown. I do see there are like many raptors and basically in this year, like when I think, yeah, it is in Jan only, I saw like peregrine falcon also in our this Mahanadi. So if you go to a river in winter, we do see many migratory birds, like as I said, like mergangers and the kestrel, falcons, everything you will be able to see. So yeah, it depends. So there is nothing. If you go to Bangalore, right, if you ask so many people, they will say it is easy for them to go to any lake, because Bangalore is full of lakes. So they do go, like, they do visit lake like regularly. So in Bangalore, lakes are my favorite because you can go easily and you will see a good amount of birds.
What type of gears are you currently using?
Yeah, as I said, I have started like recently, a bit, like it's been 1 year, like, yeah, tends to 1 year. I do have this. I started with this D5600 and 7300 mm. This is the kit lens. So now I have a 200 500 lens with the same body. Nikon 200 500 lens with the same body, the D5600. So which I am planning to upgrade, but not yet. I will upgrade very soon. And again, like. I have seen people taking very good photographs in any gear. So I think everyone should take their whatever gear they have. They should go and they should start clicking. It doesn't matter.
Are you making a living out of your wildlife photography?
Not yet. So, but I would love to if I get an opportunity. So right now it's like, do what you love. So that is what I'm doing. So I like clicking photos and birds, animals. So that's what I'm doing right now. If I get an opportunity, then I will definitely do that.
How do you think that photography can change people's behavior towards few endangered species? Do you think that wildlife photography is key to its conservation?
Yes, definitely. That is what happens, right? If you do something, or if you see a thing regularly, right, then you get this emotional connect with them also, right? So even if it's not like single-handedly you can start a conservation or anything, because it's not possible, right? The best way to do something from your side itself is plant a tree. That is the best thing, right? Because that is what is not happening right now. But like what happens, like when you talk about conservation, right, which is because it is a very big word for a single person to start with. But then what happens is, you can, whatever way we can give, or we can what can I say, like we can be part of any conservation thing happening around us. That's what we look forward to. So let's see, like if some, like in my hometown, let's say some program is happening to talk about birds, talk about conservation to people, so that people are aware of it, then we should be like, then what happens is, like, okay, I am also willing to do that, which I was not doing before photography, or before I started wildlife photography. So that's what happens, because there is an emotional connect, right, with all these creatures, and also this topic of conservation. So that will automatically come when you start this wildlife and bird photography. That will definitely happen with anyone who is doing this photography.
How is it to find a bird with its skill?
Great. Like I would, like so what I do is, like right now these days, what I do is, if I'm not near the bird, right, I will try to take some photos at that time, because I don't want to disturb while it is doing that, it is eating, because I don't want to get disturbed when I'm eating also. But I do try to capture, if not photo, but I do try to take a video, because I want to see that behavior and everything, right. So I like most of the time, if that is happening, so I do shot it as a video, so I can look at it afterwards also, and I can see some behavior, I can check, like it's like, that is what I am doing right now. So that's what I like. Yeah, but I don't want to disturb it, just to take a good photograph of a bird with a kill.
So what are your settings in filming of your camera? Aperture, shutter speed, white balance, focus. So what are they up to?
Yeah, depends, again, it depends on that, like so many things. But my favorite is aperture priority. When I have full time and I have like at a good place, or and it's not like, and it's not low light or something, then I will go with aperture priority. But if it's like it's inside a dense forest and there is low light, then I go with manual mode. But if with good light and everything, I go with aperture priority. That's what I go to, like always when I'm out there birding. But I also like manual mode.
So what are your preparations before a wildlife tour?
Like basically, I will say I don't do that much wildlife tour, because if you know, I have started in Corona, like after COVID time. As I said, it's not 1 year. But when I do bird tours, I do like keep this gum boots and water and everything, whatever is needed, like normal things. So that's what I do. But if you talk about wildlife tour, that I am not yet, like I have not yet done, or I have not yet experienced. So that is one thing I have to do in this, like in 2 or 3 months I am planning to go to MP. So that is what I'm like, I will click. I think, I believe I will get some good photos of tigers.
So all the best for that adventure.
Yeah.
Now we would like to know what are the skills you have developed so far.
In bird
Yes.
photography, as you said,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, skills means, see, like initially I was like, skill level, from photography level, I can say, like I was never used to take in aperture priority. I was always doing manual mode. So then I learned about aperture priority, and then I saw, okay, it's bit easier when you do in aperture priority. Easier means like it's more user friendly when you go with aperture priority, if you have everything correct, light and everything. So I have learned that, which is the aperture priority mode, which is very very important. And I learned about all these things which I was not aware of it, when even if I had a DSLR, but I was never using it, because I was always using in auto, or like auto mode. So the shutter speed, exposure compensation and everything. And what I like in these skills and whatever I have learned, right, what I loved most is this metering, if you know spot metering and everything, right. So that's what I like very much. But I am still learning it, and I'm still trying to do it when I am there in the field, or use it, the metering.
So we are to the end of this session. Now, what will be your advice to the young aspirants in this field?
Yeah, so it's like, if you want to, like, if you really want to do bird photography or any wildlife photography, right? So just take your camera, any camera you have. You really like need a lens, minimum 300, like till if it goes to 300 then it is there, and just have that and go out there in the field and click photos. So that's what you can do anytime. And as you know, I know that when I was there in my college days and everything, right, we never knew about this, right? So this was not there at all, because people were doing it, but that was not that much famous that time. So we never got this opportunity to do it, and we had having many free time and everything. So now if you have free time and if you really want to go to bird photography, just go there and start clicking, because you have ample amount of time right now, which you might not have once you start like job, life, family and everything. So do that, just do that, go out there and click photos. So that's what it is, and for everything who's going to start.
Thank you so much, sir, for taking out this valuable time for this session. And I must say, you are truly an inspiring personality. And today we have got to know a lot about the beauty of Orissa and Karnataka. So this will be definitely a beneficial one for the young aspirants too.
Yeah, thank you so much, thank you for this
My
opportunity.
pleasure. So audience, I will be back soon with a new one. Till then, take care and thank you so much.